but we're going to be cooking it on the grill. Now, grilling meatloaf is absolutely delicious, and it's a wonderful way to make meatloaf in the warmer months, and it is warm today. It's 85 degrees here in Ohio. So we're going to get started with our ground meat. Now, typically I use half lean ground beef and half ground pork, but when I went to the grocery store, they had what's called meatloaf mix, which is a combination of ground beef, ground pork, and veal. So that's what I'm going to use today. I have 2.5 pounds of that here, and to that I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of finely chopped onion and about 2 tablespoons of finely chopped garlic. Now, there are a million different ways to make meatloaf. This is just how I do it. So if you have a favorite recipe, go ahead and use yours. Just do it on the grill, which we'll get to in a bit. Then I'm going to put in some Worcestershire. About 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. Two eggs, slightly beaten. Grill seasoning. Even though we've added the fresh onion and the fresh garlic, I do like to use grill seasoning, especially on anything that I am cooking on the grill. And since we are doing meatloaf on the grill, we're going to add some grill seasoning. And I would say for the 2.5 pounds, we're going to do about a tablespoon of grill seasoning, and you can use any brand you like. Then we're going to use about 1/2 cup of panko breadcrumbs. Now, you can use any kind of breadcrumbs you like. I always have a large amount of panko on hand, so I'm going to use panko today. And then this is tomato jam. Now, I make this and I can it, and you can totally use ketchup instead, but tomato jam is really, really delicious in meatloaf. And if you've never had it, it's not like jam you put on a toast or for peanut butter and jelly. It is actually a condiment, and it's often referred to as grown-up ketchup. So that's what I'm going to use today, but like I said, you can totally use ketchup, but I'm going to be doing a video on how to do tomato jam. It is really, really good and nice to have on hand for something a little bit different than ketchup. So we're going to add about 1/2 cup of that. So you'd want about 1/2 cup of ketchup. And then we're good to go. And then we're going to use our hands to mix up all of our yummy ingredients. And honestly, there is no better way to mix meatloaf than with your hands. We're going to get in there and get it all mixed up really well. Now, once you get this mixed up, I know people use different types of pans to make their meatloaf, and you can certainly use whatever you prefer here. I always just shape mine in a loaf. I know some people like to use an actual loaf pan. I like to just shape mine because I don't like mine quite that tall. I like a nice domed shape. So I'm going to, and since we're going to do it on the grill, I'm going to use a cast iron skillet. You don't have to have a cast iron skillet. You just want to use something that would be safe to use over an open flame. Stainless steel would probably work, but I always use my cast iron. Cast iron is wonderful for cooking in all sorts of ways, but that's my favorite. And if you don't use cast iron because you're afraid of caring for it, it's really not hard to care for. It really isn't. I know it seems intimidating to people, but it's really not. And it lasts forever, and it's something you can pass down from generation to generation, which is kind of nice. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. So what I do once I have everything mixed together is, like I said, I just shape mine into a nice loaf. Hopefully you can do it that way so you can see. I just shape it into a loaf as big as as wide and as tall as I want it. I don't like it too tall because it takes longer to get done. So I make mine kind of on the flatter but wider side. But again, you can do it however you like to do it. Now I will say, when you do make meatloaf on the grill, it does take longer to cook than it does in the oven. So if you are using charcoal, which we do, you need to make sure you have enough charcoal to cook the time it's going to take to cook your meatloaf. And when we make it, it always takes between an hour and a half to 2 hours to cook on the grill. So make sure you have plenty of charcoal to do that. Now I finished this off by topping it with barbecue sauce. This is my own home canned barbecue sauce, but you can certainly use any sauce you like. And I just pour it all over the top. Kind of glaze it. And that's it. And then we're going to put it on the grill and get it going. And I'll bring you back once we start cooking. Okay guys, I'm bringing you back to show you meatloaf on the grill and how we cook it. My husband has prepared the charcoal, and we want to cook on indirect heat. So if you can tell with the charcoal, he's got a container, a charcoal container on each side, and we've placed the meatloaf in the middle on the cast iron skillet. So we're going to put the lid on, and we're going to cook it for about an hour and a half, and I'll bring you back. Okay, our meatloaf on the grill has been cooking for about an hour. Look how beautiful. See how your barbecue sauce gets that nice, it just gets that nice color to it, and it's gooey, and it's just really, really beautiful. So we're going to keep cooking until we reach an internal temperature of about 170. And I did want to mention that I do rotate my pan from time to time during the cooking process to make sure that it cooks evenly. Alright guys, 1 hour and 30 minutes. How gorgeous is that? And we are at 170. Can't see very well, but actually we're above 170, we're almost at 180, which means we are done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the meatloaf off the grill and let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we can slice it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll take some time and try grilling your meatloaf. It truly is an absolutely delicious way to make meatloaf, especially when you don't want to cook inside, when the weather is beautiful and you'd rather be outside. This is a wonderful way to make it. So give this recipe a try. Thanks for stopping by today and spending part of your day with me. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and leave me a comment in the comment section. Have a great day. Thanks guys. Bye-bye.